Okay, well, good morning again. Thank you again for coming to the Your Major Abroad series presentation week. And today we have a presentation for students in the College of Applied Health Science. I think we have a lot of different things to cover, but as I said, this is very informal. If you have questions, put them in the chat, or if you want to just ask away, feel free to do so. So I'm not going to go through a lot of bullet points that you'll see on the presentation because I will send you a recording. Hopefully it works because yesterday I did a recording and for some reason it didn't work. So keeping my fingers crossed. And then I will send you a copy of the slides as well. All right, I'm multitasking. I am admitting people at the same time and trying to present, but let's see. Okay, have you ever traveled abroad? If you want to put it in the chat and there it, if you can just kind of take a, keep an eye on there, or if you guys want to say anything where you've traveled abroad or the highlight of one of the trips that you had. How about if you speak a language other than English? And if yes, what is the language? Anything in the chat?
I speak Swahili.
Swahili? Yeah, great.
Okay. Spanish. I speak Russian. I studied Chinese. Anybody else?
Vietnamese.
There, do you speak different languages?
French, English, yep, and Arabic a little bit. Yes.
Anybody else?
I have family in Jamaica, so I've been to Jamaica a few times.
That's
awesome.
Great.
Cool.
Dutch, Spanish, French. Nice.
Glad. You feel strongly about, sorry?
People say they travel to Rome, they travel, yeah.
Awesome, good. We have an experienced crowd here. Okay, you feel strongly about a major global issue. You want to gain new perspectives. I think this could be sort of a repetition for you guys since you already have an international experience. So I think it all comes down to you want to study abroad. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't, since you came to the presentation quite early today. So again, I think we know why you're here. So hopefully by the end of the presentation, you would kind of know why you want to do it, what kind of program you're looking for, what is it that you're hoping to gain out of from that experience. Of course, again, there are a ton of benefits from studying abroad. There are personal benefits, there are professional benefits, there are academic benefits. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to sort of go through this. I want to just share my personal experience. Feel free to share yours even if you haven't studied abroad, but maybe you just lived abroad or traveled. So for my personal benefits, I am originally from Russia. I went abroad for the first time during my undergrad. I studied in China for the entire year. That was my first ever experience out of the country, first time being on the plane, first time being by myself. So I can relate to a lot of things when students from UIC come to me and say, hey, I want to go abroad, but I don't know, I'm overwhelmed. I've never been outside of Illinois. Well, that was me a few years back. So I can certainly relate and help you. Did I increase my self-confidence? Oh, yay, I survived there for a year. I studied Chinese before I went, but when I got there, I couldn't understand anything. I didn't even know how to use chopsticks. I mean, that was a challenge, but hey, look where I am. In terms of professional benefits, I never knew that a field of international education existed. And I've been in the field for some time now. So there are a lot, and of course, academic benefits. I improved my Chinese. I just wish I had, kind of continued studying it. Because as we know, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I really hope that whatever you guys are planning to do abroad or whatever you're thinking of doing, please keep doing it. Keep doing it. We now, in terms of our programs, we have different opportunities. You can do research. And again, we'll have, I think, a slide about that. We have internships. We have service learning. There are a ton of opportunities for you. I think the hardest part is to sort of figure out what is it that you want to gain from this experience? Because as you know, as I hear a lot from students, I'm overwhelmed. You know, there's so many different programs, there's so many different options and classes and experiences that you can have. Questions, comments? Does anybody want to add anything? Again, this is just kind of, you know, I was looking for a quote, and I found a quote from a student, from Michelle Moy, who was a rehabilitation sciences major at UIC. She went to study to China, Kunming. That was a program about traditional Chinese medicine. So I just kind of included a quote from her. I thought it would be nice to add, you know, a quote from a student from your college. So, but I need more. So when you go and when you're back, please send me the pictures and send me quotes so that I can include it for future presentations for students. This is our team. There are 5 of us.
A question.
Yes.
Can we bring a family member with us?
Usually no. It depends on the program. I know that your family members are not able to participate on the program, but if they want to visit you on the weekend and kind of stay nearby, yes, but to participate in the program, no. Any other questions? No, we're good?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our team. There are 5 of us. We sort of have different portfolios or different countries we advise on. So depending on your interest, you may have me, or you may have Marley or Crystal or Kyle. So it kind of depends. But again, there are 5 of us. We all have study abroad experience. We've lived abroad. So I think we're a great resource. Of course, we always want you to talk to a study abroad alums. So we also have students who sort of help us out and volunteer and talk to interested students. So if there are any particular programs or countries you're interested in learning, let me know, and we'll see if we can find a student who can talk to you or answer any questions. Where can you go? There are quite a few different options out there. That's why I personally think it's the hardest part on figuring out where to go, what, you know, which program, what to do. And again, we're here to help you. There are different types of programs. There are faculty-directed programs, and as the name implies, these are short-term programs that are organized by UIC faculty, like Vered, who will be presenting and sort of telling you a little bit more about 2 programs that she planned and organized for you for next year. So these faculty-directed programs are usually offered either during spring break or summer semester. For spring break, what happens is that you enroll in a UIC class during spring term, and then during the spring break, you go to, for example, in Vered's case, you will be going to Cambridge. There are also standalone faculty-directed summer programs. They range in length from about 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks to 5 weeks. These programs, usually the majority of the students are all from UIC. I think this year we're sort of trying to experiment and maybe allow students from outside of UIC, but in the past, they were open for UIC students. Of course, it's a UIC coursework, so you know what you're taking, you know what kind of credit you're receiving. And I think one of the benefits of going on faculty-directed programs is, especially for those students who've never been abroad, who feel so nervous, this is a smaller program, a small group. You know the faculty, you know students. I know parents really like this type of program because, again, you have a lot of support and you kind of know a lot before going. Then majority of our programs, I should say, there are partnership programs. So we work with different universities or study abroad consortia. on sort of using or partnering with them on their programs. And they have programs all over the world. And they're different sort of setup. It could be a study center in one of the locations that they have, let's say in Barcelona, or it could be just a direct enroll option in London, for example, London South Bank University, where you would enroll with the help of our partner. And finally, we have an exchange program. And what it is, and I know that it's very exciting and it's in the works, that there will be a hopefully soon new exchange partner for you guys for the College of Applied Health Science. So hopefully maybe next year or next semester, we'll start enrolling students in that program. And as the name applies, what it means is that UIC student will go to, let's say again, London, and then a student from London would come to UIC. The biggest, I guess, difference with partnership and faculty-directed programs is that when you go in an exchange program, you pay UIC tuition and fees. So in terms of finances, this is the sort of, the biggest difference between all of our other programs that we have. Where if you go on faculty-directed or partnership programs, you will pay a program fee. Any questions?
Yeah, there was a question about the program in Cambridge, the spring one. I will talk about this, but
I'm almost done. I'm almost done with my part so that Berit can talk about her programs. Were there any other questions?
No.
No, okay. So this is just sort of a chart that, summarizes kind of different program types. I think we already talked about that, so I'm just going to skip this. In terms of academics abroad, what happens is that you need, whenever you decide on the program or when you're looking for a program, number one, you need to know what kind of courses you're looking for, what exactly you would like to take abroad. Obviously, for that, you need to talk to your academic advisor, right? Or look at your DARS report or just do both. Very important. For everything that you take abroad, you need to get approval from the advisors. You will get UIC credit for every single course that was pre-approved by your advisor. It will come.
Yeah.
Like don't ever use like water or like soap. It's just
Ray, you're
sorry. Can you mute yourself?
Just like a little bit because they said
Ray?
like stuff.
Raymond, your mic is on. There you go. There was a question. Kamete is actually not a UIC student, but she's looking for opportunities of study abroad for her undergraduate studies. So she's asking, she's misplaced.
She's misplaced, meaning that she's
in the meeting.
Oh, in the meeting.
She's not a UIC student, but she's looking for opportunities to study abroad.
You know what, I can chat with you after the presentation, because for a lot of partnership programs, you can just apply directly to them. You would just need to talk to them directly and see what the process for you would be for you to be admitted. So, and I can certainly answer those questions, specific ones. Okay. So again, you will get UIC credit that will count towards your UIC degree. Also, students will get grades that will count UIC GPA. So everything would be kind of as if you were on campus. It's you just physically somewhere else. As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of different types of programs or experiences that are available for you. There are a lot of programs that offer internships. You don't have to speak the language if you're going outside sort of English speaking world. There are a lot of placements. Of course, if you have some understanding, if you have basics, it will help you. It would probably open up a little bit more opportunities in terms of the placements, but this is not a requirement. When you do an internship, you earn academic credit that goes again towards your graduation requirements at UIC. Research. A lot of programs have been offering research opportunities for students abroad. There are a lot of opportunities right now to work in local labs. So for you guys, probably being in the applied health science, I think this is something definitely to look into. And depending on the sort of the field of study, I'm sure that they will be able to find placements for you. I know that a lot of honors college students, if you're in the honors college, they use this research as either start their capstone project requirement or maybe even finish. So if this is the case for you, make sure you talk to your honors college fellow and honors college advisor, just kind of see how you can get this done. And we just also added service learning opportunities as part of our programs. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, look into that. When you're researching programs, when you're looking for a program, if you want to do research, so make sure the program offers a research component. Any questions?
Yeah, there was a question in the chat. Is there a specific program for pre-med students?
There are no pre-med specific program, but there are a lot of, like, for example, public health programs, quite a few around the world, and they can focus on policies. Or we have programs that say, I love this program. There's a program in Botswana that allows students to shadow doctors and nurses at the hospitals and in different settings. So there are a lot of different options. So there's no sort of pre-med specific program that I can name right now, but I can think of a lot of public health options that would complement what you guys are studying at UIC. Anything else? Any other questions?
No.
No. Okay. Virtual international internships. I guess the field of international education had to adjust, right, due to the recent events. At first, when I heard about this, I was very skeptical. I'm sort of an old school, and what is virtual international internships? But I feel like it's actually getting more and more popular right now. And we've had students who participated, and we received very positive feedback. So this is something that we will continue offering. So of course, this experience does not replace sort of on-site international internship experience. But if for some reason you're not able to travel, but you still want to gain the international experience, I think this could be one of the avenues that you should explore. Again, they're all in English-speaking countries, or if you're interested in improving your language skills and you have some, basic language, we can also help you to find programs where you can do internships in the local language. So again, there are plenty of opportunities and options. If that is something that you're interested in, make sure you talk to one of the advisors in our office. This is just summarize. I'm looking at my time to summarize the process. In order to get started, attend the first step informational session. You can find information on our website. We have, of course, it's available on Zoom, but we've started offering them in person in the study abroad office as well. We're in 502 University Hall. So if you're interested in attending in person, we're here. Make sure you know when the application deadlines are. In general, usually mid-October is the deadline for spring programs. November, around early November, that would be the deadline for the spring break program. Mm-hmm. And mid-March, that when you would apply for fall and summer programs. So we usually kind of keep them at the same time, but the deadlines are always posted on our website. Some programs may have earlier deadlines, so make sure you research those as well. Eligibility requirements. Some programs, we don't really have any specific eligibility requirements. for UIC. As long as you're in good standing, you're good to go. But some programs may have additional eligibility requirements, such as maybe specific coursework, if you're looking for more sort of specific classes to take, GPA, or maybe a language requirement. Choose a program. We have a lot of information on our website. There's a search that I think is a great resource. We also encourage students to talk to us, schedule consultation appointments, because again, as I said, we have, I think, close to 200 programs, so it could be overwhelming. We're here to help. And then the next step would be to apply to a program. This is our new Flames Abroad portal through which you can apply and search programs. Funding for study abroad. In general, if you are on financial aid, all aid that you receive, grants, loans, anything what you're eligible for to receive for UIC, you should be able to use that to pay for study abroad. We've sort of, put together, I feel like graphics, visual is always easier sort of to digest. As you can see, study abroad doesn't have to be more expensive than UIC. There are different programs in terms of academics and what they offer. There are also different programs in terms of the cost. Even in the same country, I like the example of Japan. I don't know if you know, but Tokyo is one of the most expensive cities in the world. But you can go to Japan and go to Nagasaki, and in Nagasaki, it will be half of the price that is in Tokyo. So it's even in the same country. Or London, for example. London is very expensive, but you can go to Cambridge and that way and visit London, but that way you'll save some money. So again, there are options. And as I mentioned earlier, the hardest part is to find the program, to sort of ask yourselves, why do I want to do this? What is the goal in terms of academics, personal benefits? And of course, let's look at the program cost and kind of be realistic and make a plan. We also help you guys submit applications. I mean, we don't submit the applications for scholarships for you, but we help with essays. We offer scholarship writing workshops, the essays for scholarships. So, and I think I have a next slide with the schedule. We also have on our website, we have an upcoming event page. So all the workshops and presentations are listed there. Just to mention, we have different types of scholarships that you can apply through UIC, or we have a national competitive scholarships that range, I think like the lowest is $3,000 up to $8,000. So there are a lot of different scholarships. Of course, it's a lot of work. You need to apply, you need to write essays, for some of them, you need to write letters of recommendations, but it's there. The scholarships are there. We've also have program discounts for UIC that we've negotiated with our partners. So depending on the program, there could be additional discounts for you. Questions about funding? Yeah.
Two questions quickly. How to schedule the info session, and the other one was about the doctor's program. Is it offered in the spring of 2022?
That's a good question about the spring program. I don't know, because unfortunately, things are still up sort of in the air. In terms of spring 2022, October 15th is that when UIC will make a decision regarding whether students will be allowed to travel next term. As of now, this term, we have 5 students who are studying abroad, and all of them are in South Korea. And it has to do with the Department of State sort of level designation for different countries. So South Korea was level 1, and therefore students were allowed to go. In terms of Botswana for spring, I don't know that. I really don't. We can check after the presentation on their website and see whether the program will be offered. And then after October 15th, we'll know whether students will be allowed to go abroad, period, in the spring. And then the second question was?
Info session, and then the cost for Israel and for Cambridge is in the works right now. So you will have it within hopefully a few weeks.
Yes, yes. In terms of the info sessions, if you go to our website, studyabroad.uic.edu, get started, there will be a first step. And then once I'm sort of done with my part of the presentation, I'll put it in the chat. So
Okay.
this is information about the Gilman International Scholarship. This is on average, I would say students receive like 4,500, 5,000, even for the summer. You just have, students have to be Pell Grant recipients or Pell Grant eligible and US citizens. That's it. There are no other requirements. For spring, if you're thinking about spring, the deadline is October 5th. October 5th is also the deadline for early summer. So what happens with the summer programs is that students can apply by October 5th. And then if for some reason they don't get it, they can reapply by March 1st. So again, if you're thinking about a summer program, I highly recommend and encourage you that you submit your application by October 5th. We will be offering informational sessions about this scholarship. So there's one tomorrow, September 10th. Or the 15th. And again, all the sessions are listed on our website. And I'll put it in the chat later on. As I mentioned, there will be also study abroad scholarship writing workshops. And here are the dates for this term. A little, more kind of quotes from our students. Again, I really hope once you go and once you're back, you send us your pictures and hopefully we'll be able to add your quote to our collection. Okay, real quick, I know I have just only a few minutes left. So what I did, I sort of went through our portfolio. And of course, depending on the coursework, what you're looking for, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to identify particular programs in terms of your own interest. But in general, this is what I think I found in terms of the specific coursework for your major. And I haven't added the new exchange program yet because it's still in the works, but there will be a sort of direct correlation in terms of the coursework. But as you can see, there are different opportunities for you in terms of the location. So if you have if you want to just maybe find these programs on our website and look into the coursework that's being offered, and then you would need to talk to your advisor because it also depends what you still have left to take at UIC. There, it's all yours.
Okay, so I need to share, right?
Yes.
Hold on a second, quickly. Let me share. Here we go. We'll start with Cambridge quickly. And let me go to slide mode. Here we go. There we go. Everybody can see? Perfect. Okay, so a couple of things just to set from Arena. The exchange program we're working on right now is actually to Anglia Ruskin University, the one that is going to be in the spring break. So if anyone loves the spring break and wants to go and do a whole semester in Cambridge, that could be an opportunity. We're really hoping that everything will go through. It's in the works right now. So just to talk in general about the program, Cambridge is a university city. It's absolutely stunning. A lot of young students from all over the world, tons of bikes. Everywhere you go is with cycling. And then punting. I don't know if anybody did that before, but the program itself, what I'm going to be looking into is actually, it's a course that will apply for either experiential learning or, as I understood, for electives. It's a 400 level course. It's 494, KN 494, which is special topic in kinesiology. The course itself is going to work on learning a holistic model of movement analysis. It is used with athletes, with dancers, in rehabilitation. So you will learn the QMD model. And then we're going to look into the processing behind movement, observation, how we assess, but we're going to do it in a variety of settings. Last 2 years ago, in 2019, when we were 2020 actually, right? When we're supposed to go to spring, and then COVID hit, the course couldn't do obviously the part in England, but we had the collaboration with the performing art here in at the university. We were supposed to go to see the Joffrey Academy, some athletes with the Flames. So it's really a variety of things that you can do here in Chicago. And then in Anglia Ruskin, we're going to do things that you're not necessarily going to be exposed here in the US for example, rowing or any other kind of stuff, football, which we call it soccer here, right? But football there. In addition to that, we're going to be working with the students at ARU. We're going to work on mutual projects of movement analysis in different settings. You will be learning to do a 2-dimension on like an iPad, but you will be learning the more research-based too, the 3-dimensional. You have the ability to have hands-on and do a motion analysis as well. So it's really interesting, the program. The setting of the class itself is not examinations, it's more about based on projects. Because that's the type of work that you will be doing. You are going to, as I spoke about, collaborating with students at ARU and developing your own really professional skills, not just within the environment here, but and outside as well. And at the end, we're going to be constructing one project that you will be presenting, basically. So as I said, it's $494. You need to sign up for $494, and it's a qualitative movement analysis embedded course, which means that we will be here January, February, March will be in England, and then April we'll be back here to finish the projects that we started. It's 3 credits of experiential learning, so that will cover all of the requirement for your graduations if you need that. And next, it's not moving. Hold on a second. There we go. As I said, 1 week here in Chicago, and then the spring break, and then back to Chicago. It could be undergraduate, graduate students can apply for this. In the past, I had graduate students in this course as well. And as I said, it can be towards your elective or experiential learning. So check with your advisors about that. The deadline, I put here 3.0, but this is really negotiable. It depends on your background, what you did before. It's really preferable, obviously, that you will have somewhat of anatomy for these courses, so you understand movement, human movement. Nick, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. So what if I have 18 credit hours for the spring semester? Can I add like 3 more for study abroad credits?
I think you can, but you have to talk to your advisor about that. I'm not sure. Irina?
Yeah, you'll probably have to get an approval kind of to override or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
but I don't know if 18, I mean, that's kind of your own personal decision, but that seems like a lot.
Yeah, I just have to squeeze in for in order to graduate for the spring semester. But thank you so much.
You're graduating in the spring. Got it. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So
yes.
reach out to your advisor, your college advisor, and see if you can get approval to add additional 3 hours.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
So we will have, if you are choosing the program, we'll have a pre-screening interview with me. It sounds awful, pre-screening, just an interview with me. and then you will need to attend a mandatory meeting at the study abroad, as Irina was talking about. The program is maximum 15 students. The first time we ran it, we had 18 students. So we override it to allow 3 more students to sign into the program. And then the deadline is the most important. It will be November 1st. That's important. The cost of the program is in the work right now. Irina, do you remember what it was like before, approximately?
I mean, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2000, less than, I can't remember now. I can't remember.
Yeah, but you know, we will have the number, and then so it will be the cost for the program plus the airfare. And what we're trying to do is obviously do like a group fare, so that will be cheaper for students to fly. And then there's some meals that you will have, personal expenses that you need. And then I think Irina, when they apply for the program, you will have more information for them regarding that, right? And as Irina said, it's available to have financial aid, roll it into your tuition, or get a scholarship. And you can contact either me or Irina for the program. Do you have any questions about Cambridge? I'm just trying.
Can I just add real quick? If you guys do not have a passport, number one, if you're planning on applying for the spring break program in Cambridge, if you have a passport, double check that it's valid. It has to be valid at least 6 months after the end of the program, which is, I can't remember the dates now, but it's in March during just the regular UIC spring break. If you do not have a passport, you need to apply for a passport as soon as possible, and you should expedite it.
Yes.
Because the regular pass, I mean, everything is delayed at this point. So just do it like today, if that is something that you're interested in.
And then I think during spring break, our spring break we will be leaving Friday night actually to arrive on Saturday morning to Cambridge. So we will have that weekend. So we're not missing the weekend. So, and then we're returning the following Sunday. So you will be back in school for Monday class, basically, which will be the class with me, by the way. Okay, yes, Nick, another question or anyone else?
Yeah, just one last question. So for international students, do we have to get like a visa to go to London or something like that?
It depends of the what kind of passport you have. So, you know, what country. So it's we can look into that, but that's basically going to the UK embassy website to see whether you would need a visa for that passport that you have.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Any questions about Cambridge before I move to the study abroad of Israel?
Yeah, I just had one more question. What kind of previous coursework is required? Like what specific classes?
So for the qualitative movement analysis, the only thing that I really want the student to have is, if you took KN 243, you should be fine. If you took the class with me, because I talk a lot about anatomy and movement in this class. So that would be a class that I would really prefer that you will take. Other than that, I think if you had any anatomy background, that would be really good to have. But if you had KN 243, that will be sufficient enough, or anything equal to that.
Okay, thank you.
Lina, which classes did you take so far?
I haven't taken any kinesiology classes, but I've taken anatomy 1 and 2, and like multiple chemistries and all of that, but I haven't taken any like kinesiology. I'm a nutrition.
No, that's fine. As long as you have the anatomy, it's fine. If you're really interested in movement, yes, you should be fine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Okay, so I will move quickly into the elements in motion, move and be moved, the study abroad in Israel. This is a program that is a little bit longer. It will be from May 30th through June 23rd. So it's about 6 weeks, and we might be cutting it to 5 weeks, Irina, right? So we're kind of still working on it. So I'm not sure, I'm originally from Israel. That's where I was born. I lived my life there and moved here when I was in my 30s. Right now, I've been here for almost 30 years now, so you probably know my age now. And yeah, so one of the things that is really unique about Israel is the culture mix and diversity that we have in Israel. And it's from every walks of culture that you can just imagine. We have Christian, Jewish, Muslims, Turks, we have Druze in Israel, all kind of cultures that you maybe never heard before about. Jewish came to Israel from different countries, from Ethiopia, from Africa, from Russia, from Yemen, Morocco, from Eastern Europe. It's just such a mix of cultures, which you can imagine how the music, the movement, the food, everything that has to do with the culture is so diverse as well. So the idea of the program in Israel is to really explore movement through cultural elements. And how, when I say movement, it's not necessarily like movement in movement, like in kinesiology, but I really want to look beyond that and look into what does it mean? What does it mean movement in music, in dance? What does it mean movement in culture? What does it mean? And that's where we're going to be exploring it through cuisine, through folklore, through dance, through music, and how it shapes a culture. And one of the things that is really interesting is that you'll be exposed to other cultures and values and norms and traditions that we're not necessarily seeing here, and really developing a little bit of a more comprehensive approach to life, to culture, to society through this program. And really recognizing social behavior. Like you can see me, I'm talking a lot with my students, know that I talk a lot with my hands, right? All the time. So we're going to look into project of exploring gestures, for example. When one of the project can be just doing an observation one day, sitting in a certain place and looking at people and writing observations about what you see. So it's going to be a really unique program because it's going to be outdoor, exploring, learning outdoors, not necessarily in a class setting. Other things that we're going to look is how we can use the local resources to build our projects. And the project is going to be kind of like a portfolio. We're going to be building a portfolio throughout the program that it will be very unique to each of you. It's not, there's no right or wrong, but it's your own experiences and what you bring into the program. So after the completion, you will be able to critically think on areas of movement analysis, and not just movement analysis from perspective of human movement, but representation in the society. Other thing is obviously the ability to really develop academic and professional ability that will really help you in your future career as well. It's really, employers always love to see that students had an experience outside of the box and actually did something beyond just the regular grades in classes. And then obviously communication, you're going to go to a country that speaks another language, but I can tell you in Israel, 90% of the population speak English because it's mandatory since first grade for us to have English. So most of us speak pretty good English, but it will be interesting to explore the other, Hebrew and Arabic as well, and other languages. And then integrate really important concept. And when we talk about about society and how to combine all of these things into a project, a final project that you would have. The course that you need to sign to is KN 299. It's a specific course that is designated for study abroad in kinesiology and nutrition. It is a 6 credit hours, the course. So you can get 6 credit hours, even it's beyond what you need to do for your experiential learning, but you still have it if you need it. And then the structure of the course itself, we're going to have 2 weeks in Chicago as a preparation. We're going to do a team building activities and introduce you to movement in different modalities. And then 3 to 4 weeks in Israel, we're still working on it, looking into introduction to the society, the history, the identity, the multicultural groups. We're going to be exploring movement in different modalities, looking on cross-cultural experiences with Israeli students. So, for example, there is a place in Haifa that is a mutual place for Arabs and Jewish that works together through cultural programs. So, for example, they have tour of the city of Haifa with different types of foods that you will be introduced to, or they have a theater, a mutual theater in Hebrew and in Arabic, or a dance groups that works together. It's really unique. So you will be exposed to things like this. In Tel Aviv, there is a graffiti tour, for example, and you might be able to do a workshop on graffiti, actually, and maybe create your own stamp in Tel Aviv. So there's a lot of interesting things. A day in the desert with the Bedouin, in tents, on camels, doing hiking in the desert. So really unique things. And then at the end, as I said, really construct a nice final interdisciplinary project. This program is open to applied health sciences, but the School of Theater, the music, design, liberal arts, or any students that are interested in performing arts and cultural experiences, basically. Again, this is for elective, and then it's an undergraduate and graduate are welcome to the study abroad in Israel. Again, this is just a general one, but if you're in a good standing, we can definitely talk. And then I think you need an approval for this from the department as well for the study abroad. And that's it. So we're looking for students that are really looking for exploration with good attitude and just ready to go. Any questions for me on Israel project?
Or any other questions? Are there any general questions about study abroad in particular, or something is unclear? Ask away. Anything? I just want to say that while planning, especially we're still, as Vered mentioned, we're still planning the program in Israel, but I feel like we're having a hard time of sort of taking things out, because Vered wants to give you an opportunity to do so many things. Yeah, I don't think there are enough hours in the day to be able to do all of this. So this is, I feel like this is our hardest sort of task in moving forward with this program. But also I think it's such a, I mean, of course, Cambridge as well, it's just a little bit shorter and it's very different in like in structure wise. But this is a true representation of what study abroad experience is or should be. You're hardly in the classroom. You are out there exploring, learning, meeting people, traveling. So this is a very unique experience.
And there's some questions I can, so how long we will stay there? Asma, I'm assuming the program to Israel or Cambridge? Not sure which one. So Israel is between 3 to 4 weeks. And Cambridge would be over spring break, leaving Friday, the 18th of March and returning the 27th. Is the summer class or a class taken in the spring? Is it a summer class for the Israel program, Amanda? Yes, this is yes, it's a summer. So, yeah, May 16th through June 23rd. Yes.
There's also a question about scholarships for the program in Israel. Yes, there are general scholarships that will be available, that are available for this particular, that could be applied to this particular program. There also, again, as I mentioned, if you receive financial aid, anything that you're eligible to receive for the summer at UIC could be applied towards this particular program.
And then one more thing, the actually Rothenberg School in Jerusalem, where we're collaborating with right now, they have an opportunity for scholarships as well for the program. So you can apply for scholarship to Jerusalem University as well. It's part of Jerusalem University, which is a credible university, to do a program with.
So as soon as the program information is finalized, it will be published on our website, and we will make sure to send it around so that you guys have it available.
Yeah, I think somebody else had their hand up. Was it Juan Pablo?
Yeah. So the question I had, actually, Irina touched on it a little while ago. So I was just wondering how tight or busy was the itinerary. I was wondering if there was any time for students to kind of wander around or like do their own thing, if you will, or whether we had to be pretty much chaperoned by faculty for the entire trip.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Well, you will have personal time off. I guarantee. we are not going to hold you, like a boot camp from morning until night every day. So there is going to be some off time. One of the things that we were exploring and we're still exploring is to have like maybe like a visit with families in Israel or something for the week for the weekend, or a special, I don't know. We're looking for different things and for students to have some time on their own. We're Jerusalem, we're going to be based in Jerusalem. So, for you to have some time to explore by yourself as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, so I think, does that apply for Cambridge as well? Yes, Ray. And Cambridge is that tiny. So you walk it through within an hour. Yes. Yes, oh, good.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I understand that next class, and Barrett, I think you also need to get to your class.
Yes.
Thank you again for coming. If you think of anything else, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. But as I said, hopefully the recording worked. So I will send you a copy of this as well as the slides. And just again, reach out if you have any questions.
Yeah, and I will follow up with everyone for the next step with me for the program. Okay. Thank you so much for the time.
So good to see you guys. And thanks for those who turned on their cameras. It was nice to see your faces.
See you
so
soon.
Very nice to meet you. Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.